Hi, hello, and welcome into my channel. Today we are going to be talking about my top 10 favorite looks from UK vs. the World Season 2. This was such a spectacular season. I had a really great time reviewing each episode and talking about my thoughts and how many of you came to come and check those videos out. So thank you for that. This was a really hard season to choose a top 10 for. I will be so honest. Here they are without further ado. I got all these photos from the Drag Race Instagram, not from the wiki like I normally do. So starting at the number 10 spot is Marina Summers for Queen and Country look. I thought this was such a really nice way of opening up this season for her and showing the type of drag she was going to do. And this type of drag was very celebratory of her heritage and her culture, really highlighting that in a way that has not really been seen in front of RuPaul before. Then adding that extra little detail of the sticky rice in the backpack was such a smart idea. This is just a really solid look, and I think it allowed many of us to understand right away what Marina was going for this season. Moving into the number 9 slot is another For Queen and Country look. This was from La Grande Dame. What I loved about this was how camp it was, and you could look at this in any context and say, oh, this is a French look, because you see the Eiffel Tower right there, and then this big giant frog, which I think a lot of French people are known for eating maybe some less than standard fare around the world. Certainly here in the States, we don't eat frog very commonly. I'm sure there are people that are eating frog around here. But then you've got these super bold colors in a camp way that, I don't know, you just don't see on a typical Drag Race season. When girls do camp, they try to pretend that it's Lee Bowery. So this was a fun look because of the pops of color and the smart uses of camp while bringing it to a fashion place. So there's the frog, right? This dead frog. And the eyeballs are where the breast cups are. Hilarious. And then it's got its tongue sticking out, which drapes down like a capelet. And that's such a smart way of incorporating fashion into a themed look like this. And then you put on this super high fashion veil over the hair, and it brings it to another place. The one arm being the frog's arm, the one leg being the frog's leg, so then you've got asymmetry in here. Just a very, very smart look. And then the way that the hand is rigged to that glove, I don't know if you can see the wire that's in there. It's an opera length glove that is mesh, so that it provides stability to actually hold up that frog hand without the wire necessarily just resting on one finger, and then you've got this weird wire that's just laced in there. So it's smart and functional and structural. It's mechanical in its own way. This is a really great look and a great way of showing where you come from and what you plan on doing this season, which is high fashion mixed with stupidity. And I love that. In the number 8 spot is Scarlet Envy's From Drags to Riches look. And I put this in the number 8 spot in comparison to some of the other ones because I don't know how she constructed this in such little time and how she was able to get such a flawless silhouette with scraps. They implied that they didn't get a lot of fabrics to use for this challenge. And as we could see from some of the other girls, they struggled to make things because there just didn't seem like there was enough. But Scarlett somehow found what appears to be like at least 8 yards of this horrendously tacky, what even is that, a chevron pattern? I can't tell what it is, but there is some type of zigzagging that looks chevron-like to me. This horrendous pattern, and somehow made it look really nice and couture. It's bouncing off of Cinderella, almost a Little Mermaid. It has that classic princess look while also being very modern. I like these super over-exaggerated shoulders and these super sleek arms. It's just fun. And the fact that she was able to construct this, but other people really struggled to make something, I mean, come on, this is a great look. In the number 7 slot is Hanaconda's She-Evil Queen. And I have to say, I have such a soft spot for Enchanted with Amy Adams. That is a great movie, and this is 100% riffing off of the Queen from Enchanted. It's riffing off a little bit of Into the Woods. I kind of got the witch from there too. And I like this blend of multiple fairy tales to come up with this drag character. I think for her, she was one of the strongest ones, right next to La Grande Dame coming out as the alien queen. I think in a challenge like this, either you come up with your own super unique story like Marina did, where everything was about being this ocean princess, but didn't riff off of The Little Mermaid at all. It was her own creative vision. Or you bring in something that is already culturally familiar, like Enchanted, and then you just put your own little twist on it. So you can even see in her hero look, it was a riff off of Edward from Enchanted. And her final dress, her constructed dress, very much was presenting Giselle. So I like that this whole storyline really played off of Enchanted. That's what I got, at least, whether she said it or not, that's what I was getting. I think this is a stellar look. Maybe the dress could have been pressed at the bottom or steamed right before she went out, but I'm not horribly mad at that because the details, God, it's so good. I love this look. You know what this is supposed to be by looking at this. And nothing makes me happier on a Drag Race runway than being able to look at it and saying, I would know what this category is no matter what. I would look at this and say, this is an evil queen. 100% house down boots. In the number 6 slot is La Grande Dame's She-Evil Queen look. I put this up here for a lot of different reasons, and at the time, I said it, and I will say it again, drag like this doesn't get seen in front of RuPaul. Ru kind of tends to force this aesthetic that you have to be super glam, almost pageant, with elements of comedy and camp, but you don't really do anything that is alt scene drag or alternative in any way. And for me, this might not seem like a lot to some of you, but being on stilts on RuPaul's stage is not something that you see. I don't think we've had anybody on stilts since Ivy Winters in season 5 when she came out and did her circus runway. I could be wrong and maybe somebody else did stilts and I've completely forgotten, but I don't think anybody else has done full stilts like this. And this is pretty impressive to come out in a look like this in front of Ru, and also covering up your face, because Ru and Michelle don't respond well to that unless it's Lee Bowery and in a face kini type scenario. La Grande Dame took a cultural reference of the alien queen and brought it to the main stage and somehow made it also look really high fashion at the same time. And I love nothing more than the fact that she wasn't afraid to drool and spit on the runway, because that is a really big character design of the aliens. They always have drool coming out of their mouth. And I thought this was smart for this runway. And to be honest, I think this is why she ended up in top 2 that week, because Ru and Michelle just don't see things like this, because they've curated a culture where you don't do drag like this on RuPaul's stage. You do the classic thing that everybody's seen, and I'm really hoping that La Grande Dame changes the culture of Drag Race going forward, that people aren't afraid to do something more creative, avant-garde, or alt. In the same way that I think Jimbo, Lover or Don't, really changed the scene of Drag Race, because prior to UK versus the World 1, not a woman on Drag Race was wearing a breastplate or hip pads. It was 10 seasons in a row, from 7 all the way forward, where there was maybe one girl who put a singular chicken cutlet in her bra titty to give a more exaggerated feminine shape. And from 7 forward, Violet really changed the game. You didn't see a single breastplate or any breast padding or hips or body or anything for many, many, many years. And Jimbo came out, and now all the girls are wearing breastplates and hips and are giving exaggerated features again. So I'm really hoping that La Grande Dame changes the culture of Drag Race to be more avant-garde. bigger, more presentational, outside of the box, but staying inside of it, like this look, saying, She-Evil Queen. Who is an evil queen? There is this weird alien queen. I'm gonna do that. Or my home country is France, so let me wear the Eiffel Tower on my body. It's in the box, but it's outside of it at the same time. Moving into the number 5 slot is La Grande Dame's When I Glow Up runway. This is entirely made of condoms, which is crazy. I think she said it was something like 1,000, 2,000 condoms to make this look. And it's very couture. This is very high fashion. I really love the silhouette of it literally being a penis. You can even see the line where the foreskin is at, and I am obsessed. The little tiny gloves popping out of the waist gives an extra layer of comedy, but gives you still a focal shape. So it's not like she's just in this penis shape waddling around. There is actually some functionality to this. And then her little head with the spit curl coming out, this super flawless makeup is hysterical. I love everything about this. This was an A+ idea for When I Glow Up. And I didn't see her original season. I'm going to, but I didn't see her original season. And this makes me want to watch it even more because I'm now even more endeared to La Grande Dame. And I want to see where she started on Drag Race because I know where she ended up. In the number 4 slot is Marina Summer's Reveal Yourself runway. And I said during my episode review of this particular episode, I hate Reveal Yourself runways. I don't like them. I don't respond to them. I'm bored of them. I think when Sasha Velour did her bald head reveal with the rose petals, that was really effective because up until that point, the only big reveals we had was Chanel showing her vulnerability by letting her breastplate fall off, or Violet doing her spinning flying squirrel into that beautiful tartan. And up until that point, we hadn't really seen too much. And then Sasha changed the game and all the girls were doing reveals. Every single week, it was reveal, reveal. Every single finale, it was 10 reveals. And then they started making it a runway category and it got boring. I think the most egregious 2 times are in All Stars 3. I think it was all based off of hair. And then in All Stars 7, there was another one where they had to change 3 times. And at that point, I think I was just over it. I was done. I was ready to never see a reveal ever again. And I think a lot of the fans have also felt like a reveal is effective if you don't know it's coming. When you are going out and showing off your spring look and then you spin and take off a belt and there's a brand new look underneath that, that's really cool and effective. No one's expecting it to happen. When Lady Camden comes out for Chaps on the Runway and falls down and comes back up and has a short wig and a mustache on, that's an effective reveal because we weren't expecting it. Something like a Reveal Yourself doesn't give a lot of agency for us to go, oh, wow. But Marina managed to do that, and I think La Grande Dame did as well. It was kind of hard to choose between both of them for this particular slot. But Marina came out in that big molten lava dress and pulling pieces off while Michelle was gooning in her judge's seat. And the lava spouting out and then revealing into this beautiful, sleek, shimmery, molten lava dress with the hair, with the headpiece that almost looks like steam coming off of lava. This was an extremely effective look and managed to physically make me and Michelle gag and gasp and moan, and that's what a reveal should do. And she was really the only one who did that next to La Grande Dame, literally peeing herself to reveal World Peace, which was brilliant. Moving into the number 3 slot is Mayhem Miller's finale dress. Now, this is not shade, I promise. I feel like Mayhem has some really great concepts, and we've seen that throughout her whole run on RuPaul's Drag Race. She has really great concepts, but not really great execution as far as TV proportions go. I feel like May is always thinking a little bit too small, and we saw that in her original run, we saw it in All Stars 5, but here, I feel like this season was where she really got it, and I wish that May had never been on All Stars 5, because I think if she hadn't, she could have gone a lot farther this season. It seemed like she was thinking bigger television-wise, because that first runway was so good. And then her glove runway during the reunion was incredible. And then she comes out in this beautiful silhouette, this wonderful mermaid skirt at the bottom, all these huge proportions as far as the sleeves and the shoulders are concerned, giving this gorgeous African queen, and this incredible print that is cut for the ages. She looks spectacular here. Plus her iconic white contacts from her performance look in All Stars 5. This is really smart, and seeing this finale look, I definitely wish that we could have seen more of her runway package. And every year I wish that we would just do the Fame Games and let the eliminated girls walk in all of their runways. I would have loved to have seen everything that May brought. Just seeing this and that glove look from the finale. Moving into the number 2 slot is Scarlet Envy's Take Me Up the Aisle look. I put this up here because the more that I thought about it, the more that I thought this was just really S tier as far as a look is concerned. When you think Take Me Up the Aisle, I think you'd think ugly bridesmaid dress or a really high fashion bridal look. You'd think Vera Wang, I think. You'd go sort of the expected. But Scarlett took it to a Vegas route and brought us to those cheesy Elvis weddings that I think they still do. And Scarlett did something I have never seen anybody do ever. And that is make gold lame look immaculate. Actually, no, that's a lie, because Luxe Noir London made lame look really good, and I feel like Amethyst was fine. But the way that Scarlett incorporated the lame into this luxe, rich white fabric with all the stoning and the embroidery on it, really heightening this Elvis look and bringing it to a drag place, bringing in the gold into the roses, into the jewelry, having this lovely Elvis hair, making it super feminine. I really was gagged by this look, and I mean, it's just unfortunate that Scarlett did so bad in that challenge, because she turned this one out and onto its head. And I mean, there was nothing better on the runway that week than this, in my opinion. This was the best one that week. Hannah's was great. I really enjoyed it, but this was the best. Finally, in the number 1 slot is Scarlet Envy once again dominating my top 10, because she just had a spectacular runway package, and this was her Gone Cruisin' look. Who would think to come out in a rose being frozen dress? I think we've seen the Titanic theme before. We've seen Widow Von Du. I think there was somebody in France who did it. And typically they go a little more of a casual route. They go more for the just plain white button up and a brown skirt, some boots, and just come out with a couple of pieces of like silicone, you know, just dangling from their nose that looks like a frozen snot bubble or something. I think someone may have even done this up in Canada's Drag Race, maybe for season 2 or 3. Is what I'm recalling at the moment. But Scarlett turned this on its head and made it a rose look, and did the very classic rose hair with the little spit curls coming off the side, the big updo, and the big giant luxe dinner dress. What is also smart about this is that there's a bodysuit here that Scarlett perfectly matched makeup wise to the bodysuit. You'll notice it's a white probably flesh suit like they sell, cutting off the neck, bedazzling that part where she probably cut the cowl off. And then down onto the gloves, there's even more stoning where it ombres into the frozen hypothermia hands that even have danglies coming off of those, because she was thinking full picture here. You'll also notice, and what I noticed, was the little Christmas tree ornaments that are dangling from all over the dress. Those are really smart to use because, and I said this in my original video talking about this episode, what's really smart about this is that this was probably kind of an expensive dress, and you want to add elements that make it look like you've been frozen in water, that you have icicles dripping off of you. But how do you offset the costs of such an expensive dress? That what you do is use a practical effect to sort of balance out how much you've already spent on creating the garment. So taking these crystals that are dollars at Walmart at Christmas time and putting those on there to heighten the effect of being frozen and not have to spend another $1,000 on some kind of pressed silicone in a unique casing that some designer is going to charge you tons of money to make. Go for an inexpensive ornament. And you can even see those dangling off of the wheel on top of her head. I really love the silhouette. I love what she's done here. She looks really ghastly, and I respond very well to this makeup. And I think Scarlett just really hit the nail on the hammer here. Like, this was the best one, and in my opinion, this should have made Scarlett top 2 for the week, because this gown made her top 2 as fuck. And with that, that has been my top 10 favorite outfits of RuPaul's Drag Race UK vs. the World Season 2. What were your favorite looks? What did you enjoy the most from this season? I'm sad that it's over, and I'm upset that we did not get at least 2 more episodes. I would have loved a 10-episode season. Maybe had one redemption runway where the eliminated girls could come back. Maybe even have a lip sync smackdown would have been really fun. And if she already had hers, would be great. But I'm really grateful that we got this season, because we got introduced to a lot of really spectacular icons. And I'm excited to see what happens in Canada vs. the World, which allegedly is filming right now. But you can check out some of my other Drag Race outfit rankings. I do have a playlist for all of those if you would like to check that out. Thank you as always for tuning in, and I will see you on the flip. Hey, thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to click that like button. And if you want to see more, hit subscribe. Goodbye.